It's not
She
recording
knows
yet.
she's leaving.
Thank God.
No holding her back.
I'm going right now with it.
Recording in
Recording.
progress.
Was it you or them?
Both of us. All right, I'd like to call this meeting to order, May 1st, 2024. Meeting of the Select Board. In attendance, we have Molly Keegan, Joyce Chunglo, myself, Amy Parsons, Jane Nevin Smith, and Randy Iser. In accordance with Mass General Law, Chapter 22 of the Acts of 2022, signed by the Governor on February 15th of 2022, I announce that this meeting of the Select Board is being recorded by Hadley Media, the Select Board's office via Zoom, and ask if there is anyone else present who is also recording this meeting. Let the minutes reflect that no one else has indicated that they are recording this meeting. Right, we're gonna start off with appointments. This will open, come on. Community electrical aggregation. The Hadley Community Electrical Aggregation will discuss with the Select Board the new bid process for the new cycle of community electrical aggregation and communication policy with residents. You just would like to introduce yourself, Mr. O'Rourke.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board, Madam Town Administrator, thank you for letting me come before you tonight. Lady John O'Rourke, Good Energy. Before we go into exactly the bid process, what I'd like to do, I have a very short 3-slide presentation that I'd like to show you. Jen, should we bring in there?
Oh, come on.
Matter.
Hells.
The community electricity aggregation here in Hadley launched in August of 2019. The initial contract went from August 2019 until November of 2021 at a rate of 0.10101 per kilowatt hour. The current contract, which was renewed in the spring of 2021, goes from November 2021 till November 2024, the end of this year. The rate on that is 0.10470 per kilowatt hour. The supplier is Constellation. Next one, please. This gives you an idea of how the program has performed. You can see basically the green line is the line of the aggregation. The blue line is the line of Eversource basic service. Since savings wide through March for the program, about $1.4 million, $2.4 million. That's an average per account of about $1,300. So each resident who was part of the aggregation during this time basically saved an average of $1,300. So it's been a very successful program.
John, does that include businesses as well or strictly residential?
It's for residents and small businesses. You want to.
Yes. And that is just a Hadley number. That's not a larger number, it's
No.
just Hadley.
Strictly have.
Thank you.
Next slide. Essentially, there was a recent mailing that what we'll do periodically, we'll get a list from Eversource of the new clients in town, new accounts in town. That list gets sent to the supplier. Supplier sends out a letter that looks very much like the original customer notification letter. Basically tells those new customers that if they want to participate in the aggregation, they don't need to do anything. If they want to opt out, with that letter is a return opt-out card in postpaid envelope, in prepaid envelope. They can call the supplier, or they can fill out a form on hadleycea.com, opt out. And essentially, if they've opted out, previously opted out and not changed address, they should not have received a letter. There were some problems with a recent sweep. There were letters sent out to people that shouldn't have gotten them. We're trying to track down that error now. And essentially we'll figure out what happened then. Essentially what we're going to do, we want to renew the electricity service agreement at this point in time, because right now, the natural gas market, which is a precursor for electricity prices, is in very good shape. We had a pre-bid meeting today with the town administrator and Jen. We went over some indicators. Next week on the 8th, we will have hopefully an executable bid. Again, that doesn't go into effect until the end of the year. So once that's done, we're not going to publicize any numbers until we get closer to that end of the year. Okay, we don't want to confuse people with numbers that come out now for 6-7 months. So there'll be plenty of information that goes out 6 weeks before the renewal, that people have a choice of saying, yes, I want to stay in the program, no, I want to get out of the program. And again, people can go out of the program without penalty or termination fee at any time. But essentially, it's been such a successful program, most people will want to stay in.
And next week's numbers, or whenever they come out, are locked in till the contract starts at the beginning of the year, correct?
They will be locked in from the start of the new contract at the end of the year, for a term that is yet to be decided.
So I see our first contract was 2 years and the second one was 3 years. What is
Well,
proposed for
again,
this
it
one?
depends on what the market is at the time. Right now, we have done recently, we've done 7 launches and 8 renewals so far. We have another 15 renewals to go in the next couple of weeks. We're finding out that because of the way the market is, 3-year contracts are the sweet spot. And that's what virtually everybody has chosen up to this point. So we'll see what happens next week. And, you know, obviously it looks like it'll be a long-term contract.
And John, just for educational purposes for people watching the meeting, could you just remind everybody of how their Eversource bill works? The fact that this is strictly the supplier.
Yeah, essentially the aggregation only affects the supply side of the relationship with the utility doesn't change. It continues the way it had been before the aggregation. The only thing that changed on the bill is the name of the supplier and the rate. The relationship with Eversource doesn't change. If there are problems with billing, problems with outages, you still call Eversource. The only thing that's happening is that the supplier is different than Eversource is.
And many people have, noted over the course of the past couple of years that their electric bills have gone up significantly. That's not, again, the supply side, that's the delivery.
Well, again, we don't have any control over the distribution side of the bill. Okay, that stays the same for everybody, whether you're in the aggregation or not. But certainly, this program has done very well against the basic service of everything.
I can honestly say that too, because at one point, my daughter was paying like $200. She was on a program with Eversource. And there was only 2 people in the house that were gone all day long, weren't there. And when she ended up signing up, I finally woke her up and said, you have this aggregate that you can sign up for. Well, her bill is only $60 a month now, or $70, if that, at this point, and so it was a big, huge savings, and I've tried to tell people that. I did that with our, how do I want to put the defunct garage that we have, because it's not really a working garage, it's just a building, so that helped tremendously also. Yeah.
One advantage that we have over the utilities is that we can go out to bid for contracts whenever the market is good. The utilities have to go out to bid 2 specific times of the year for 50% of their load for a year. So if it's a bad market, when they go out to bid, it comes out, you know what happened,
Mhm.
with National Grid and Eversource in Eastern Mass,
Yes,
last year.
Yeah.
It was tremendous.
yeah,
And the other thing is, there are some suppliers who are fairly aggressive in their sales tactics. Anything we should be alerting residents to in that regard?
Certainly, when you have an aggregation, those calls and those, attempts to get people into a program are reduced. But essentially, the tactic is very much the same with a lot of these companies. They will call up, very pleasant voice. They will say, hey, we think you can qualify for a discounted program. We just need your account number to check.
Mhm.
You never give your account number out on the line, okay? Because basically what can happen is the people that call up and take that account number, put you into a program that may look good first couple of months, and then when you're not looking, the price goes up. We spend a lot of time at senior centers when we do launches and renewals, because we want the seniors to bring in their bills. We want to look at the bill, and unfortunately, a lot of times we find that they're paying much more than they should.
mhm. Yeah, definitely, and then there are companies out there that say that they are Constellation. When in essence, they really aren't, because that's the problem we had with this other account that we had it. I'm going, this doesn't sound right, so that when we switched over. I had to call you and ask you on how to do that, because it didn't seem right that they're saying they're a Constellation where. It didn't match to what I had on my bill at home,
And sometimes the names they give you are very similar.
similar. And I think one of them was out of Texas.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Or they say they're from Eversource.
Exactly.
Any
Sneaky.
other questions?
Yes, how do we get you to come to the senior center?
Excuse me.
How do we get you to come to the senior center?
Whenever you need me to come, either director of senior center or Alan, give me a call. I'll be.
I will give them your card.
Okay.
Sounds good. And so we'll know. Everybody else will know like 6 weeks ahead of the contract what the rate will be.
Yes, they'll get a letter. It'll be just like the original letter they got for the launch. It'll explain the whole situation. And they can make choices at the point in time. Again, everybody has my card. You have my number. Please don't hesitate to call me if you have any questions.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Good to see you again.
Oh,
Good night.
Oh, thank you
Sorry.
very much.
Wait, there's a
you have a
question?
question? Yeah, yeah, sure. If you just wanna come up here to just so that, anyone at home can also hear you,
Identify.
and then just identify yourself.
Okay.
Can you identify yourself first, please?
Ken,
Dan,
tell us who you are,
Oh, just
please.
say who you are into the microphone so that people at home can also hear. It's fine.
So just one. Please you. I just wanted to understand the reason for the cut in November is because
I don't care if Randy knows. I want to know.
contract running.
I
and
don't
it's been running
I don't know.
prior to this for a number of years. That's correct. Yeah. So and so the nail I got is sort of a tail end of an existing 2 or 3 year.
That's correct.
Contract. So when I sign up now, this tail end, the expectation of the rate changes in November. Because I'll be on the tail end, I'm gonna be starting, presumably another 2 or 3 year cycle.
You're a new resident in town.
No,
Did you move in town?
no,
Okay. Did you change suppliers?
I changed suppliers a while ago.
Okay.
And I came back again because I had the unfortunate experience of having somebody sign up for 6 months and then they're up the rate. And I just, but I'm new in terms of this program.
You got a letter because of your renewal tenure for some, we put the basic service.
Jack, it's a little bit.
Okay. What you can do, if you don't do anything, you'll come into the program, then at 6 weeks before this renews, you will get another letter saying, here, this is the new rate that's gonna be in place for a number of years. You can have a choice at that point in time to stay in the program by doing nothing, or you can opt out of the program.
Yeah, I understand. I'm just, rather than sitting and flip flop, I just wanted to find out what your expectation is for that rate going forward beyond November.
Well, we'll see what happens when we get executable rates next week.
Okay,
But we're not gonna reveal those until it comes close to because we don't want to confuse people between the rate this time and the follow-on.
and over the previous contracts, I think it's been going since 2019, the rate has stayed relatively similar.
The rate from August 2019 to November 2021 was 0.101. Okay, and the rate after that, that's in this current contract, is 0.104. So very close. Okay. We'll see what the rates are when we go to bid next week.
And people outside our particular contract arrangement, do they have similar rates to what we've given?
You mean who are outside the aggregation?
Yeah.
Well, right now, the Eversource rate is,
Yeah, I'm talking about for your company. Your,
you mean for other clients we have.
exactly,
Okay,
are they roughly similar to what we get?
for those that we've recently done.
Yeah.
They're gonna be close.
I mean,
Sure.
sure, they pay.
Yeah, less than pennies, I guess, in things, tens of pennies.
I'm just looking for.
Sure.
All right, Ken, before,
Okay,
Thanks.
Ken,
Ken,
Thanks a lot.
Ken, can you just, into the microphone, just say your name? Just say Ken Wood.
Edward.
Okay, thank you.
No, the location now.
So is it just the people that are not signed up for the aggregate that will get this mailing? Or is everybody in town getting the mailing?
everyone in town who's on the aggregation will get the mailing for the end of this contract. To give them a choice of staying in or getting.
Okay, all right, that was a clarification.
All right.
Any other questions, please give me a call. And anytime you want me to see your center, let me know.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Troy's having trouble getting on
Okay.
the wall,
We'll all
except,
get the
but I see
fix
Susan's
before the
on
sign
and
up.
everybody else. I don't know
Let
what
you know
trouble
what the
he's
rate
having.
is.
I can try emailing it to him.
I gotta get my husband's mail if it drives.
Moving on to 3.1 consent agenda. Warrants AP 2442, AP 2440, AP 2440S, AP 2440V, AP 2441F, AP 2441, AP 2442S, and PR 2419. Also the minutes from April 3rd, 2024. And a one-day liquor license request, all alcohol, for the Newman Center at UMass Open House at V1 Vodka, Cinco de Mayo, tasting at 146 Russell Street.
So
As-
those are two
Those-
separate.
There's three separate, right?
There's only two there.
Two, okay.
And there are no dates for them.
Oh, I'm sorry, there's not one on that. The V1 is on May 4th.
not good, that's the fourth.
Yes, it's Quattro de Mayo.
May the fourth be with you. And then also a one-day liquor license request for wine and malt. White Lion Brewery, May 11th, 2024, at the first annual Craft and Artisan Farm Festival at Mill Valley Farm, 102 Mill Valley Road.
So we need to put I'm requesting you put a requirement on that they have a contained area for their alcohol through a fence, as does the Young Men's Club, as does the Asparagus Festival. If you're having alcohol, you need to have it in a contained area. And also the fire chief has asked that you put the conditions of inspections on the White Line Brewery as well.
Let's pull that one out then, please, so we can discuss it.
Okay.
And then try to.
Okay, motion to approve the first three.
Newman Center at UMass.
Oh, you do? Okay.
So we'll pull both the liquor licenses out for discussion.
Okay, motion to approve the warrants and minutes as presented.
Second,
All right, motion by Molly, seconded by Randy. All those in favor?
aye.
All right, and for discussion, let's start with the Newman Center at UMass Open House for all alcohol.
Okay, I think the one thing I want to bring up at this point is I don't particularly see a problem with the Newman Center at this point. But going forward, I would suggest on other alcohol licenses for UMass that we hold off on them until we have things settled in Amherst.
So isn't this being held on Russell Street in Hadley? though?
No, the Newman Center is at UMass.
It's being held, it's in honor of them. It's a charity.
So
They don't,
that
is that the one?
Oh,
And
is
they
that the one?
donate, and they donate the
Oh.
proceeds to
I'm sorry.
the Newman Center.
I thought it was being held at the Newman Center. Okay,
Yeah,
no,
it was
okay, I don't have a
confusing.
problem with that.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. No problem.
All right, can I get a motion for that one?
Motion to accept the Newman Center at UMass.
Second,
Anyone vodka.
All right, motion by Joyce, seconded by Jane. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, and then the one-day liquor license for White Lion Brewery.
Motion to approve with the recommendations by Jen that there be a inspection by the fire department and that an area is roped off for alcohol being consumed.
Second for discussion. I just have one other question.
Sure.
Is it strictly the fire chief who has police and anybody
I'm
else?
sorry, everybody has signed off on it. Mike is the only one that put an inspection request on it, and Ben is reaching out for Board of Health.
Okay, so I have a question. This could potentially be huge. And parking and all that other stuff that they have had to deal with in the past when they have something that's bigger than they can handle parking wise. So do they need any kind of permits for this, the Craft and Artisan Farm Festival, or is that because they're agriculturally exempt, they're allowed?
We're gonna discuss it at the project coordination meeting next Tuesday. And take it up there. Right now, I can't speak to anything more because, like I said, Ben has reached out to the organizer, who is Bruce Jenks, asking for more information. So at this point, I just have the liquor license for the alcohol request.
Yeah,
That's all I really have at this time.
So there's no entertainment or anything.
They did not request, he has an entertainment license for his, for the farm.
Yeah, so he can use that for.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, he can use his entertainment license for that,
Mhm.
correct?
I know that they've also expanded the parking lot all the way down. Like they made an entire area in front of the cornfield as well,
on their side of the street or across?
on their side.
Because there was an accident earlier, someone crossing to one of their events.
I'm not certain if you would like me to ask Chief Mason to look at the parking, or if you would like the planning board to look at the parking, or I'm
I
not.
think the planning board's involved in it. I think it's just it would probably be the fire chief for inspection for whatever, and then the police chief for parking.
Okay, I will do that.
Or Lieutenant Cook.
So I would move we accept this contingent upon the other things that have
Yeah.
been mentioned.
It's already motioned and
Oh,
seconded
okay.
for discussion.
All right.
Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
no,
All right. Public comments. So public comment period is a time for the public to bring their concerns before the select board. The board will hear public comments for 15 minutes. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes so that other members of the public may have an opportunity to speak. Is there anyone here for public comments? Anybody on the line?
There's nobody physically here.
Can I just bring up one thing? Because I know what I wanted to bring up is not on the agenda tonight, but I have had a request that people are asking about mosquito spraying. If you wanted to put that on another agenda, or do we have any comments about, are we opted out on mosquito spray? And that's my question.
Yeah, so because it's not on the agenda.
Correct.
We'll put it on next week.
Correct. Thank you. I just wanted to, because people were asking, so I said I would bring it up and
Okay.
we could look at it.
All right. Moving on to old business. 5.1 annual town meeting discussion.
I put that on there as a placeholder. With the with the internet being out, everything was a little tricky, and I wanted to make sure y'all had it there just in case you needed to discuss it, but we're gonna be completely ready for a great town meeting tomorrow night, so there's not really an agenda item there.
How
What
great
time
that
are we,
was.
do we need to be there?
6
Next-
o'clock, please. Select Board and Finance Committee there at 6 p.m.
Good. Do you have the books tonight, Jennifer, or?
I don't, we were waiting on a few more slides from.
Yeah, we were still up until 5:30, that we were still getting changes for the PowerPoint and the motions and stuff, so. Yeah, we'll have it tomorrow.
Okay.
That's what we needed.
We can
Alright.
also email it out to you.
Like the town reports.
No, the town reports won't be in until tomorrow afternoon, late. But I can,
Just in time town
it's
reports.
just the nick of time. I can email y'all the PowerPoint draft though, after this, if you want to see it.
No,
Molly does, everybody but Joyce got it.
I'll see it tomorrow. I've actually haven't seen it and I know the changes that were being made, right?
Yeah.
So.
All right.
Just the minimal changes. They talked to you guys.
Is
He's
Troy?
having a hard time getting
Yes.
on. I'm not certain why.
Okay, I will,
Get on it with him.
we'll just skip around a little bit until we're able to get Troy in. New business, 6.1, Department of Public Works. Scott is on the line and hi, Scott.
Hello, good evening, everyone.
evening.
Hi, Scott.
So Amy, I requested this, or have a staffing problem with the missing foreman, and the on-call situation has become a little bit of an issue. There's only one foreman now to take the DPW on call, and with summertime vacations coming up, I was hoping the board would allow me to help him out in that role and allow me to get the stipend that goes along with that. I have filled in for him, and I'd like the compensation. It's all funded. We have money there for it, and just goes with the on-call. We offered it up to see if we could come to terms with the union to have one of the senior employees help us with this, and we couldn't come to terms with that. So currently it's just the building maintenance foreman is taking all the on-call.
And will this cause any rift between the union and the non-union part of the employees here? I mean, yeah, I know you're the non-union employee, but is there gonna be a problem?
Well, the
Will
only
we
other
be offended by that?
No, the other employee that it would involve is Gary, and he is all for the help. He's getting a little burnt out doing it, and he's got some vacation scheduled. He doesn't want to worry about it on call when he's on vacation.
Scott,
Yeah, isn't there anybody you can appoint in term? Why would the union object to that if the employee was willing to do that, if we did a side letter?
So we asked the union, Joyce, right off the bat, if anyone would be interested as an intern foreman, and no one was interested. As far as the on-call goes, we went down the seniority list, and the senior employee was willing to do it and help us out, but the rest of the employees wanted it to go in a rotation, and we just myself and Troy didn't feel that some of the newer people there would be qualified to be taking that kind of on call where you're going to be making some decisions along with the calls. So we just we couldn't come to terms with it with the union.
Mhm.
Scott, I've lost track. Where do we stand with, I'm just thinking, I mean, we're talking about a stopgap measure here, hopefully, but what about long-term? Where do we stand? I thought you had that position posted or?
It has been posted, and I'm not sure where it is right now. Troy has been handling that, and I'm not sure exactly where we are with it right now.
Not getting applicants.
There are no applicants? Do we need to change where it's posted? Like, where's it posted right now?
Troy's been trying to get on. He's having trouble with his computer. I can't answer.
I've sent him the Zoom link. I'm sure he'll be on in just a minute.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, it'd be helpful to get an update on that. Okay.
Well, I certainly don't have a problem with paying somebody that's doing the job that needs compensation. That certainly is something that warrants justifying, and which I think has been justified. And again, is it Troy that's got information on what we would do for a stipend or what
I
we?
think Scott will share that with you.
So Scott, what are you
This is
looking
from
for?
Scott, not-
Just the current stipend that everyone gets, Joyce, it's $40 a day. That's in the union contract. And that, that's what Gary's getting. That $40 is budgeted, et cetera. I'm not looking for anything else. I'm just, when I have to take my turn to help out Gary, I was just looking, basically for being able to get that stipend.
Yeah.
And Scott, this is temporary, right? I just want to make sure we're not, to Randy's point, stepping into a bigger issue. It's strictly temporary.
We hope. so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
temporary till we can get another foreman.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to allow Scott to have the stipend while he's doing the on-call.
I'll second.
Motion by Joyce, seconded by Molly. Any further
Joyce.
discussion?
Yes.
Could I just ask that the couple times I did it for Gary, be able to get that retroactive stipend? I didn't collect it.
Sure. Retroactive till when?
It's only one time, Joyce. I forget the date on it. Was maybe a month or so ago. A month.
I don't see a problem with retroactive for what he's worked. I think people should be compensated.
Any further discussion or questions? All those in favor?
I
All opposed? All right, still working on Troy?
Yes.
Okay, no, that's fine. We'll go to the next one.
Oh, wait, there he is.
Oh,
Look there. Or not there. Can you unpin Scott, please? Can you unpin Scott and go back to gallery?
Don't go away, Scott.
Troy, are you here now?
Oh, there he is.
he is in picture.
Can you hear me?
Hi. Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. I don't know if the video is working or not. but There it goes.
Troy, we just because we're just finishing up with the request from Scott McCarthy.
Yes,
Question
ma'am.
came up. Yeah, I don't know if you heard it or not about the foreman's position. Is that
Yep.
currently posted? Carolyn said we're not getting any applicants, so
I
like,
haven't
where's it
received.
posted? And can we, post it in other places or?
Yep, we can. We've posted it in the newspaper, one time. Sorry, I'm trying to log in. We posted it in the newspaper one time. If I can.
Okay.
Sorry, that should be better. So yeah, we posted in the newspaper one time for the weekend, right, Scott? I think it was the weekend. And we got no applicants based off that. I haven't had any applicants at all for that position.
Did it only get posted in the newspaper? Because most people don't subscribe.
Well,
to-
we've posted it on our website, we've posted it on Indeed, just like every other.
Okay, all right, so it's on Indeed and.
Yeah.
We're guaranteed to get applicants there.
Where?
Indeed.
Yeah, anybody can. Click.
Okay,
So we're good.
we're good.
All set, Scott?
Yeah, just I don't know, maybe a topic or conversation for another time. Just like today, you know, I had a little bit of emergency. I had to take some time off, and you know, that's not a very easy task for me to do. You know, I'm off, but I'm still taking phone calls and you know, doing the right thing for my position. And like I said, I'm not getting very much time away from the job, I guess. So I just wanted to throw that out there to you that I'm really putting in a lot here at the current situation too. You know, like we got a lot of projects going on, and you know, now I'm trying to run the crew, run the front office, etc. I'm just spread really, really thin. And then like today, when I need to take some time off for an emergency, that it's not an easy task. My phone's still ringing. I'm still answering questions and trying to keep things moving. I just want you to be aware of that.
Okay.
Well, hopefully we can rectify that for you before you have a breakdown.
Thanks.
Yeah,
The joy of salary
yeah,
work.
absolutely.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, Scott.
All right, back to 5.2 employee handbook. There we go.
Corey.
Troy. Is Troy, oh, hi Troy, you're still there.
Okay, so in your board docs, you have, my understanding is that you asked for, a like,
Historic.
history of where the employee developed handbook was, and what changes had been made. Went back as far as I could in history in the email and found, an email dated, on May 4th of 2022. Jen Travato asking Carolyn to meet to review the handbook. And then on February 3rd of 2023, Jen sent Carolyn her edits of the handbook, and those are listed out in that email that you have of what those changes that she made, which was good that she listed that in an email. And then on February 16th, Jen Travato sent an email to our Labor Council, basically asking them to review. And then there were a series of emails to the council, just kind of asking for an update in the status. And then eventually on March 23rd of 2023, she received back the edited, or the legal reviewed edited version of the handbook with suggested attachment templates. So that's where it sits. Through history, I've been able to pull down each version. So the original version before that the employees provided before Jen Travato made the edits. I have Jen Travato's version, and then I have legal's version as it stands right now of those handbooks. So that's an update of where that employee developed personnel policy handbook is.
Troy, do you have the presentation that Jen and Carolyn brought to the select board in April of 23?
Nope, have not seen that.
Okay, because this is out in board docs, but it was an executive session. So do you want me to send you a copy?
I'll look it up in board docs. I haven't seen it.
Under executive.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
email
I'll get Jennifer or somebody to pull it for me because I won't be able to see it.
She just said that she would send it to you.
Sounds
Because this
good.
summarizes this was the last we left off
The changes.
Okay.
with all the changes and the recommendations, and then we just didn't talk about it after.
Yeah,
It would
I
never-
wasn't even aware that existed.
I hope this is gonna lead us to continue working on it.
As long as we make sure we do.
We will.
Yeah, I mean, that's the status, but that's a good question. Looks like. So Troy, in your mind, what are the next steps on this then?
I guess from my perspective, the next steps would be if where we're picking up from. Because a lot of hands have touched this. And I mean, I've had the opportunity to read it and review portions of it, but not in its entirety. But I stopped my review for the purposes of I don't know where I'm supposed to pick up from and take off running, because I would imagine if there is in that document suggested changes, recommendations, all that stuff, I would like to see that so I can, see if those have been implemented in any of the copies that I have on file. And if not, make the adjustments and edits and then bring it back to the board for review with those recommendations.
We got a copy of it a couple of meetings ago with all of those notations in different colors and different sidebars.
That version that you received is the legal reviewed and recommendations at that point, that version that you.
March 23rd,
Yes.
2023, so.
Yeah.
Right.
So we should all probably go back and review the slides from when we talked about it.
Yeah,
April.
and I'm
Notes.
carefully not, because this was an executive session, so I don't want to, read from this because it was executive session, but I think maybe for everybody, Jennifer, just to make it easy.
Doing it right now.
And maybe this will jog everybody's memory in terms of where we left off, so that it can be picked up from there.
Clicks for me. Any other comments or questions?
It's emailed to everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No,
Thank you.
strong administrator.
All right. Down to 6.2 in new business. So we're gonna discuss the Strong Town Administrator Committee charge. So we're not adding anyone to it right now. It's just for discussing our expectations.
Yeah, and so that it's clear to those that are interested what the expectations are.
Do you want me to vocalize what I was thinking?
Go for it. Cause sorry.
Yeah, so I went back and I pulled the scope of services, so from the Collins Center. So, and then Troy had reached out to them. I think it was a question came up at a previous meeting saying, they've done this so many times. Do they have a recommendation about the composition of the committee? So I believe that the way that this would go is that we'd form a committee there, and they're suggesting, be careful not to make it too big, but we should probably appoint a couple of alternates. They said, 1 or 2 select board members. They want one person to be like the point of contact for the project, just so they have clear communication channel. The goal would be to try to get disinterested parties, so to speak, right? So people who wouldn't necessarily directly be impacted by the outcome of this, but also people who have been on boards and committees, or employees who have some sense of how the town operates, right? So just pulling somebody off the street that's never been engaged in any way doesn't really make any sense unless they brought some sort of unique skill set to the table, meaning from like another jurisdiction or something like that. So I think the idea would be that now this is something that's going to span likely over at least a 1 year period, and it could even spill into a second year. The Collins Center would attend 5 meetings, and initially, there'd be likely a meeting that would be, kind of an organizational meeting, then a meeting to educate, to talk about, help people understand what we have now and what the other options are. And then there would be probably the lion's share of the work would be in looking at kind of the pros and cons of what we have now, what works today that we don't want to lose. Thinking about if there are, Carolyn uses the phrase a lot, like points of failure. Are there things that are complicated for us because we don't have a strong town administrator, that going to a different form of government vis-a-vis, delegating more authority would improve things? Then the committee would be coming back with presumably recommendations to the full select board saying, we think we should keep what we have, or, we think this might be a way to go. And if that's the case, then nothing's going to happen without town meeting approval. So at this point, it's really just an exploration, but not just of concepts, an exploration specific to the town of Hadley and how we operate today. So I don't think these are going to be weekly meetings by any means. I would imagine, the committee would decide that, but I would think that they might be at the most monthly, and there may even be time in between for people to do reading and research and stuff like that.
So looking at the Collins Center proposal with their hourly rates, what do you think it's looking like in terms of total number of hours that they're going to be involved?
Well, this is a fixed, they have proposed $10,000 that we approved to kind of oversee the project and attend up to 5 meetings during the course of it. And the hourly rate, Jane, is if we spill over that or we want them to do additional work, they're just going on record saying you're going to be paying either $125 or $155 an hour for requests above and beyond. So kind of like a change order. If we change the scope of the project, that's the hourly rate that we would pay.
Okay.
And I would happily volunteer to be the point person on this, unless somebody else wants to arm wrestle.
I got no doubt about that one.
Yeah, so I think the next step is putting it out to the public and trying to
See who's out there.
see who's out there. I mean, committee members past and present. Do we want to, have any department heads engaged in this?
I would say nobody employed by the town. But do we want to figure out, are we looking for 2 select board members and 5 more people, 2 select board members, 2 more people, 2 select board members, 7 more people?
I like the idea of 7 and then 2 alternates.
Okay, so
So
2 select
2.
board, 5 people, 2 alternates.
Yep, that math works on that. And then the question is, do we want to wait until after the election, or do we want to?
Well, you're not up for election. I said, you're not up for election.
Right, that's why I volunteered to be the point person.
Yeah, because there will be a new select board member,
Right, no matter what.
No
there'll be
matter
one
what.
more. Yeah,
there could be 2.
there could be 2.
There could be 2.
So I was just thinking maybe we could hold on the second select board appointment until after the election, but it would be great if we could get the word out now
Right.
that we're seeking
Yeah.
5 members.
And since this is sort of a bigger than a normal committee, what kind of requirements or what would you like to see from people who are submitting their letters of interest? Do you want a CV from them? Do you just want a letter of interest?
Well, like a letter of interest, but also like
You would
with
want a
their
resume.
resume,
You would
experience.
I think so. This is pretty technical.
So I
Pretty
can
technical
I can
committee.
get a template, because my town actually just did it 2 years ago.
Oh,
I can
okay,
get a template of what that looked like.
Yeah,
But
that'd be
they
great.
did not have, it was basically what the Collins said is to have residents, the remainder of it should be residents with experience.
So once I get that from Carolyn, I can email it out to the boards and committees chairs and ask them to share it with their committees. If that's,
And then put it out to the general population,
Right.
oh, you do want it out to the general public? Okay.
I believe,
Yeah, because
yes.
there may be people who, you know, were on the select board 15 years ago, or were on the select board 3 days before, and they're not anymore, and they want to be on it. So
I understand. Just writing that down.
Leaves the select board.
Is the last,
We have some other fun opportunities for you too.
Molly, could you sharpen that knife a little more?
got that rope?
All right, does anyone have anything else? We're good with everyone's
Yeah.
homeostasis achieved?
Yeah.
Excellent. Are we skipping 7? Cause it's
We
tomorrow?
are.
That's fine with me.
It would just be annual town. meeting.
Yeah, nope, don't even worry about it. It's not necessary.
Executive.
I'd,
Um,
is there any items for future discussion beyond mosquitoes?
I just have one.
Right.
I'd like to put a placeholder on for why can't I find my words tonight? Communication with the public and use of media for outreach. Got an idea that, but it's not quite gelled yet, so figure if we can put it out there, then I'll have it a little bit more gelled after the chat with Alex. I think a lot.
Envy you.
Tax season's over, watch out. What kind of outreach are you looking at?
Tell you about it later.
Yeah, we can't talk about it now. It's for the future.
Oh, future.
Don't wanna get in trouble.
So I can have.
All right,
I would,
any liaison, oh, sorry.
I would like to, also, we had a discussion about. That we couldn't talk further about was going on with the employee handbook. We need to get that somewhere in the history of things we want to talk about. And I also would like to follow up, even though Troy is not leaving, as far as we know, the idea of looking at what the job might be if it was a combination of HR and assistant TA. Because we should always have these things ready. Because somebody could leave at any moment. Or be hit by a bus or any other unfortunate thing. And we need to, if we're gonna think about changing the job, we should have a job description ready. And that's one we don't have, even though everything else is coming up through the compensation study, we have job descriptions. That's a new one, so we should be working on it.
Anyone have anything else? Excellent. Any liaison reports?
Scott talked with me about there's a washout. Mountain Road, which is behind Barstow's farm.
Oh.
And I don't know where it's gonna go, but I just make everybody aware that it might come before us for some discussion. Okay, it will.
All right. Announcements.
I only have one this evening. We had the passing of Tony Steppen. He was married to Irene. He was 96 years old and he passed in Florida, but he was a long time resident of Hadley here. So condolences to his remaining family here in Hadley. Again, I'm going to say we have the banner committee event May 19th at the Young Men's Club from 12 to 2. From 12 to 1, we will have the sponsors will be seeing the flags for the first time and having a little bit of a refreshment. And then from 1 to 2 is the ceremony. We will be offering Gold Star pins and whatever, that there's a whole thing of what our program will be, and it's only going to be until 2 o'clock. So certainly the rest invitations will be going out to the select board and other people about the event also to come and join us that day.
All right.
81, we've got 81 flags.
That's marvelous.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Really is.
And they'll be up for Memorial Day.
Yeah, we're planning on it. Yeah.
Nice job.
All right, and then the biggest announcement, tomorrow, annual town meeting, 7 p.m. Wait, is this?
Hopkins.
Oh my God, don't mess with me. I don't even know what day it is.
May
My
2nd.
brain is.
At
blank.
Hopkins.
Yes, annual town meeting tomorrow, May 2nd, 7 p.m. at Hopkins Academy. Please come so we can have a quorum.
With your family.
Bring
I
your
think we
family.
will.
I think there's enough
Plenty of
controversy there.
contentious items.
We have a
We'll
lot
have a
of things
quorum.
for discussion, and we don't just want a few people, we want
Yeah.
input.
Yeah, I would love that.
And Amy, can if I can just, it's more of a reminder for the employees, but just so you know, Emily, who's the new assistant for Joan, has done a wonderful job of putting a wellness fair together here tomorrow. So, yeah. You please feel free to stop by. She would love the encouragement.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna make a motion that we enter into executive session for the following purposes. Per Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A3, to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining or litigation if an open meeting law may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining or litigating position of the public body. Today, it's the compensation study, and we will not be reconvening in open session.
Second.
Oh, sorry. As the chair of the Hadley Select Board, I state that the board has moved and seconded to enter into executive session, and I state that discussing the matter in open session will have an adverse effect on the town of Hadley. Can I get a roll call vote, please?
Roll call vote. Keegan,
Yes.
Chungalo,
Yes.
Parsons,
Yes.
Nevin Smith,
Yes.
and Isaac.
Yeah.